Instagram community. I am honestly currently obsessed with Instagram and following all these celebrities that I got inspired to pop on here. I've definitely done tons of Facebook Lives, but this is really a new platform and an audience for me. I've had so much fun, if you haven't noticed, over the last few days, posting Instagram stories. It's just allowed me to be creative in a whole different light. And if there's anything, hey Amy, good to see you. Love you, air hugs. So honestly, I really had no agenda for this other than to tap into my creative source right now and the universe and spirit, and just see organically really what flows through me in the moment, and to really have the message that is the spirit of my life and all the work that I do. And that I feel that this point that we are all experiencing right now more than ever is calling us to be exactly what I just said, creative. To really surrender the plan, right? Surrender the logic and everything that you think and how everything should look and everything should turn out. And really just experience life with new eyes, right? Being cooped up at home and maybe not in your element, having family close by a lot more than you're used to, and your work situation, right, might be a little bit different. I'm always used to working from home, as I've had my own business for years now, and my husband actually works from home ever since we moved to Florida last year. So we're used to this situation, but it still doesn't make this, right, any easier. Everything for all of us has really shifted. And what I found more than anything, I always try to find, right, the blessing and the lesson through challenge and opportunity, is that it's given us the chance to be creative, to find different ways of seeing the same thing, right? I actually mentioned that to one of my clients today, and she was working on, her business and her branding, and she's like, well, I think I have this nailed. And she was in one of my courses, a couple of years ago. And I said, remember the worksheet where there were certain questions that you went through to really unravel who that customer is for your particular brand? And she's like, oh yeah, I have it all, in a folder and a binder, but I haven't looked at it in a while. And I said, well, I know you've seen it before, but we're all in a different season now. And in fact, Deepak Chopra is one of my greatest mentors. You are not the same person now that you were even when you joined this live, right? We are evolutionary beings. While we think in our minds that we want life to stay the same, that in fact is the complete opposite of what we are, right? Biologically, socially, evolutionary, we are not meant to stay the same, right? Internally, our bodily processes are consistently changing, right? Our thoughts are changing. And I was actually, I don't know if any of you follow Oliver Hudson, Kate Hudson's brother, but I was watching his live this morning where he was mentioning genetics. And it was something about aging. He was like, oh, I look so old, I'm 43, whatever. He looks fabulous, but celebrities are quite funny in that capacity. But he was saying that his aging, like Italian look is all genetics. And I commented and I was like, well, not really if you actually study epigenetics, which if you really want a good book on the biology of belief, Dr. Bruce Lipton speaks about this. And again, I had zero agenda and plan for this, but you see what comes up when you have done the self-work and really just subconsciously, right? You don't need a plan because your subconscious holds so many thoughts, memories, wisdom, right? All of the experiences and knowledge that you've obtained, right, over an entire life, it's all stored right within you. And that's really the magic of just letting things be and just hopping on here. I see Jay Winter join. Pauline, good to see you. Shout out, gonna send you a wave. And so I just invite you, if you're here live and you have, right, any questions for me about life, about, what you're going through, about how you're healing through this, really my greatest message for the moment and really for the entire experience of my life. And I was actually really touched earlier when I spoke to one of my clients. She said to me, you really have a way of making business and entrepreneurship and just everything that you do not only successful but fun. And I really took that as a compliment because, again, a lot of times we take life too seriously, and I think through this experience what I've learned more than anything is how to have fun, right? Not to take life so seriously, not to feel like everything has to be planned, right, years in advance, because truly the whole world is disrupted now, right? And what has that taught us? Again, how to be creative. And what's really warming my heart is that the creative life is resurging, right? The dancers and the artists and the painters. And I personally have found dance. I mean, I was never much of a dancer, sure, just for fun, at a party or at a wedding or at a family function. But I would never just, or Zumba, right, occasionally, but I would never just get up in my house, right, and start dancing. And every Saturday morning, which I've been doing since this has happened, if you follow Daybreakers, and I'll try to tag them in the comments below, Daybreaker, if you just, I think it's on Instagram, @DYBKR, I don't know. I'll tag it in the comments below to make this easy. They've been hosting every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, like a 2-hour virtual dance party with people from all over the world. It is a blast. My husband and I, we get up, we have our coffee, we sit in bed. That's my Saturday morning routine. I love HGTV. So I sit and binge watch HGTV, old Chip and Jo reruns, love them. Also love Jenny and Dave Mars. I love Mina Starsick and her mom. They're fabulous. I follow all of them on Instagram as well. I'll tag some of these people if you want to follow them. But yeah, so I had this 2-hour dance party every morning. And the first time I was like, I don't know, like how fun is this really going to be? I'm just dancing in my living room with complete strangers. I don't know who they are. And it just feels weird. Like there's 10,000 people, so you're probably not even going to get to see yourself on Zoom. So it's like nobody even sees me anyway. What's the point? But that is the point, right? It's for you. Again, it's all about, and that's what this whole experience, it's an internal experience. It's not about what other people think or are other people going to see me. Or if you're an influencer, and you have a business on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, I post it, and are people going to see this, and how much engagement am I get? But does that really matter? Because at the end of the day, it has to start with fueling your soul first. And that is the core of everything that I do. And that's why, I originally was going to plan something for this live, and I said, I'm just going to press play and see what starts. And I was inspired by, if you saw, I posted this card that I pulled for myself yesterday. First of all, the artwork is divine. This is the Shine deck by Britt Carmichael. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. But of course, why do you think I love this? She's got yellow lips. Yellow is my absolute favorite color. These big, bold, right? Yellow obviously is the color of embodying being bold and in its shadow side. And I'm talking about the energy behind colors, right? Everything is energy, right? Whether it's numerology, whether it's astrology, colors are energy. And yellow actually exudes the energy of confidence. So it's no coincidence that she's wearing yellow lips and she's wearing a beautiful yellow top. The message here being, be bold, right? Don't be afraid to stand out. And because of that, I just hopped on live and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be bold and just hit play, even though I'm a pro at doing Facebook Lives, and really this doesn't give me anxiety, but just because it was a whole new platform, I'm like, who's going to see this? Who's going to join? Initially it tells you like 38 people are on. And then I'm like, who cares? Like, I'm just going to get on here. I'm going to talk. Because honestly, I told you, I am following celebrities during this crisis on Instagram and finding it to be so therapeutic just to hear them. Like Oliver Hudson earlier today, it was just, he literally no plan. He was just sitting in his kitchen having a cup of coffee. His kids were coming up asking for advice on homework. His wife was coming in asking questions. It was completely organic, completely real, and completely raw. And that's exactly who I am, right? And that's why that type of message speaks to me versus you can tell when some people go on live and it's scripted, and it's okay, right? That all is okay. Everything is okay. Yeah, they're real people just like us, right? But it's cool to kind of like feel like you're hanging out with them in their home, and it's like they're just letting you into their world. And I think that's what's so beautiful, and that's really my goal, and getting on more Instagram lives, more Facebook lives, and really learning how to sprinkle the magic like wildfire. I'm actually working on the finishing touches. I'm going to get my podcast up and running because I love gabbing away. Yes, love that. They're real people. Yes, Amy, so happy you're here hanging out with me. I almost feel like you're hanging out with me here in my office. So Good to have you. But ironically, this is the card I pulled yesterday, but then I pulled a card from my moon deck. I did a reading for my client. This week was, of course, the new moon of Taurus. I myself being a Taurian. Yes, a true Taurus at that. And I pulled this card, which is, again, divinely connected. And that's the magic of synchronicity. The more you follow, right, spirit, God, universe, whatever word resonates with you. When I receive these messages that they're from two different decks and 2 different days, or maybe you heard something in an email and then tomorrow the very same theme, right, just keeps resonating with you throughout the week. To me, that warms my heart, especially through this crisis. It's so healing because it tells me I'm not alone. It tells me that spirit is with me, that it's guiding me. And again, right, be bold, don't be afraid to stand out. And then I pull this card for myself from the moon deck that says, I unleash my wildness and choose to be free, right? Be bold, be wild, right? Just be free. Because when you are yourself, when you are in the moment, when things aren't manicured and scripted, that to me is freedom. That to me is liberation, because you're liberating yourself from these expectations that things have to be a certain way. Because is that reality or is that perception, right? It's perception, right? What you think is perfect has nothing to do with anybody else. So let yourself be the guide, right? And all of that. And that's truly the spirit of being creative. So really that's my message for you today, going into the weekend and beyond, is to find a creative outlet that allows you to truly be free, right? To disconnect from that wild mind inside of you. And if you follow me, you probably do have a very, very wild mind, very crazy, right? It's okay. I'm being completely vulnerable with you. There's a lot going on upstairs in my mind. And that's why my mornings, probably the first at least 1 to 2 hours, are spent in complete silence. I have noise canceling headphones, monkey mind, absolutely. I have noise canceling headphones. I have a certain chair upstairs in my living room that is just for my morning meditation. I'm very big on having certain energies for specific activities and tasks, right? So I don't sit on my couch because that's the energy that I like to soak in the evening. I'm just letting go and sitting on the couch and, right, watching mindless television. So that chair is specific for my morning routine where I put on my noise canceling headphones. And you know what? Every day through this crisis, I've allowed myself to do something different, right? So sometimes it's meditating. I'm doing a mindfulness daily series with Jack Kornfeld and Tara Brock that is just fabulous. It's 40 days. I think I'm on day 29 today. And it's taking you through the stages of meditation, right? From the very foundation and kind of that beginner's mind to really deepening the practice. And I found that to be incredibly beneficial to helping that monkey mind. But more so than that, because sometimes focusing so much on the mind actually works the opposite way, is dance. And that's why I told you I had this dance party tomorrow morning with Daybreakers, and it's just so liberating just to dance tomorrow. And there's different themes every week. So this week is disco party. And so it's going to be disco dancing, right, for 2 hours. It usually starts with about a 45-minute yoga. And then there's like a whole dance party. And then they, show scenes from people all over the world, and everybody kind of, because they're muted on Zoom, they hold up their sign of, where they're from. Last weekend was my husband's birthday, so I made like a huge happy birthday sign. I actually emailed her if we could get featured on camera, and we were, and it was so special for my husband. He really, really loved it. And I just want you to find something like that for yourself because it's incredibly, incredibly healing. I'm actually reading a very fabulous book right now. It's deep, but it really touches on the expressive life, right? A life of expression. And that's the best way to heal yourself is to express, because what's not expressed is, guess what? Depressed, right? And that's what causes anxiety. That's what causes depression, is a lack of expression, right? Of who you truly are in whatever way speaks to you. We all have different ways. So some of us may not connect to dance, but we connect to music, maybe playing music or listening to music, or we like to write, right? To journal or to author, right? To any way to release, to express that which is within yourself, that is staying within yourself. right? So that is the message that I have for you today, is to get out there, to be creative, to find something that really fuels you, right? Maybe it's just putting on some yellow lipstick. Maybe it's just putting on an outfit, right? If you can tell, I'm always fully decked in color, and I know you can't see my whole outfit here, but I've got my little wild palm tree shorts, because it makes me feel good. I may not even, I did leave the house today. I go for a walk, every single day. But wild can be right? It doesn't have to be like a formal creative outlet. It's just any way that makes you feel wild, free. And I want to leave you with this quote. It's actually the opening line to my book, Fortune, and from the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, which actually inspired this whole thing years ago. And I've been in the process of writing this book. So I will leave you with this quote: fortune favors the bold. So go for it. And actually, just reminded me, one of my favorite shows, The Bold Type. Check it out. Have a good weekend. Love you. Bye.